Hey, it's Jordan with TYT Network. I'm very delighted to say I have an intern now. Either TYT thinks I'm awful and they're trying to sabotage me through the back door, or they think we're really good and want to give us more resources. I'll take either one. I thought, you know what, you got me, you got Eric, we need some female blood. Luckily, I got a great woman. Her name's Emma. She just graduated from college, die hard on the issue of money in politics, political corruption, and definitely someone I think will add to what we're doing. She's going to be behind the scenes on social media and on camera doing some video blogs of her own. Without further ado, here she is.
Hi everyone, as Jordan said, my name is Emma and I am going to be the TYT Politics intern for the summer, so this is my first video blog. I hope I don't royally screw it up. But I want to talk a little bit about the NRA and money in politics. In the wake of such a horrific tragedy, what happened on Sunday in Orlando, a lot of people are going to be asking why. Why did this happen? Why weren't we able to prevent it? We didn't prevent it for Sandy Hook. We didn't prevent it for San Bernardino. We didn't learn anything, it seems like. And there's a sense of political hopelessness in this country that relates to guns and to other issues. We have two presidential candidates who are the two least popular candidates in history, both of them, back to back. The only person more unpopular than Hillary Clinton is Donald Trump. So he beat her in that race to the bottom. Congratulations, Donald Trump, you really earned it. And also, people see the middle class shrinking, and they see their interests not being adequately represented in Congress. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. They mention the middle class more than anything, and don't seem to pass any policies that actually help them. So this source of political hopelessness isn't fake, it's real, and it's a result of the fact that all of our congresspeople, and even our president, potentially, are bought by corporate and moneyed interests. And the NRA is perhaps the most effective and targeted organization at buying our elections. So I'm going to name some names right now. If you want to feel disgusted, get ready to. It's going to be a real roller coaster ride. So, number one, Tom Cotton is the number one NRA lapdog. He's the senator from Arkansas, and he's received almost $2 million in independent spending from the NRA. I'm sure that hasn't affected his policies at all. And he's also the guy that said that we don't have an over-incarceration problem, we have an under-incarceration problem. So you know he's a class act. Number two is Tom Tillis, senator from North Carolina. Number three is Cory Gardner, senator from Colorado. Number four, Pat Roberts, senator from Kansas, and French Hill is the only person in the House of Representatives to crack the top five, with about $500,000 in outside spending from the NRA. So these are the classy guys that allowed for, or opened the doors for this kind of thing to happen. So if you do live in these states, you should call them relentlessly, harass them peacefully, and continue the good fight. So a 2015 Pew Research Center study found that 85% of Americans, including 88% of Democrats and 79% of Republicans, favor expanding background checks for potential gun owners. However, the NRA made sure that that wouldn't pass in Congress. So they couldn't even pass that tiny amount of reform that maybe wouldn't have even made a difference, but it had overwhelming bipartisan support. And it's called representative government for a reason, a representative democracy for a reason. If 85% of Americans agree on something and it's not passed through Congress, are they really representing us? I think any sane person would say absolutely not. 86% of Americans believe that corporations have too much political power. 83% believe that the top 1% have rigged the economy in their favor, and 80% believe that the government should pass tougher laws on Wall Street. What do all of those things have in common? The answer is that they are all progressive principles, and they're not even being passed through Congress by Democrats, let alone Republicans. The real problem is that when you equate money to speech and give corporations political speech, that means that the more money that you have, the more speech you have, which is probably the most undemocratic thing that anyone could have ever come up with. So that gives these gun lobbies a ton of money. They basically have a megaphone in the world of speech. They drown us all out with their immense amount of money. meaning that although 85% of Americans want background checks and are speaking, that doesn't mean that they can overwhelm the millions and millions of dollars that the NRA are pumping not into our politicians, but into the political conversation. Here are a few figures for you. In 2015, the NRA spent $3.6 million on just lobbying, but my personal least favorite statistic is that in the 2014 election cycle, they spent over $27 million on independent spending, outside spending, which basically means I'll make an ad for you and you do my bidding. They're legalized bribes, and that means that the NRA spent the 10th most amount of money of any organization in that election year. That's a lot of speech, $27 million, to drown out the regular Americans who want some common sense or some semblance of gun control. So what can we do? In the long run, we can have campaign finance reform. Go to wolf-pac.com, Google Lawrence Lessig, find out how you can do something about campaign finance reform, because we need to overhaul this entire system. It's not just gun control, it's everything. It's the minimum wage, it's regulation on Wall Street, it's all the stuff that us progressives care about. But in the short term, we can put pressure and get all those NRA shills out of Congress. You can harass them peacefully and say, you have blood on your hands for this massacre. You are the reason, or part of the reason, that these people have died today.